Why do we dream? The brain runs a simulation every night, and nobody fully knows why. Have you ever woken up from a dream that felt so real you had to stop and ask yourself whether it actually happened? Maybe you were flying above a city. Maybe you were being chased through a dark forest. Maybe you were talking to someone who passed away years ago. Or maybe you found yourself in a place that made absolutely no sense, yet somehow felt completely normal while you were there. Then you wake up. The dream fades, and you're left wondering, what was that? Why does the brain create entire worlds while we sleep? Every single night, billions of people close their eyes and enter realities that do not exist. Entire stories unfold. Characters appear. Adventures begin. Emotions become intense. Time stretches and bends. The impossible becomes ordinary. And the strangest part is that nobody fully understands why this happens. Scientists have spent decades studying dreams. They've monitored sleeping brains, scanned neural activity, analyzed sleep cycles, and developed countless theories. Yet one question remains surprisingly difficult to answer. Why do we dream? Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the greatest mysteries of the human mind. Because while you think you're resting, your brain may actually be doing something extraordinary. It may be running a simulation. Let's start with something surprising. When most people think about sleep, they imagine the brain shutting down for the night. After all, that's how it feels. You're awake. You get tired. You fall asleep. Everything goes dark. But that's not actually what happens. In reality, your brain remains incredibly active throughout the night. Certain regions become even more active than they are during waking life. Imagine a giant city. During the day, people move through the streets, businesses operate, traffic fills the roads, and everything is busy. Then night arrives. Most buildings go dark. But behind the scenes, maintenance crews begin working. Repairs are made. Systems are checked. Information is processed. The city never truly stops. Your brain works in a similar way. While your conscious mind rests, billions of neurons continue communicating with one another. Memories are organized. Connections are strengthened. Information is processed. And somewhere within all of that activity, dreams emerge. Scientists know that dreams can occur during several stages of sleep, but the most vivid dreams usually happen during something called REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. This stage of sleep is fascinating. If someone watches you during REM sleep, they'll notice your eyes moving rapidly beneath your eyelids. Your breathing changes. Your heart rate fluctuates. And your brain becomes astonishingly active. In fact, brain scans often show activity levels during REM sleep that are surprisingly similar to being awake. Think about that for a moment. Your body is asleep, yet your brain is lighting up like a city at rush hour. It's almost as if your mind is awake in another reality. But there's an important safety feature built into the system. During REM sleep, most of your muscles become temporarily paralyzed. This condition is known as REM atonia. It sounds frightening, but it's actually incredibly useful. Imagine dreaming that you're running from a tiger. Without muscle paralysis, your body might try to physically run. You could jump out of bed, crash into furniture, injure yourself. The paralysis acts like a safety lock. Your brain creates the experience. Your body stays still. It's one of the cleverest protective mechanisms in human biology. Yet even after understanding all of this, we're still left with the biggest mystery. Why create dreams at all? Why doesn't the brain simply perform its nighttime maintenance silently? Why generate stories, images, emotions, and entire imaginary worlds? This question has fascinated scientists for generations. And over time, several powerful theories have emerged. The first theory focuses on memory. Think about everything you've experienced today. Every face you saw. Every sound you heard. Every conversation. Every emotion. Every piece of information. Your brain absorbs an incredible amount of data every single day. Far more than you consciously realize. If all of that information were stored equally, your mind would become overwhelmed. Instead, the brain must decide what to keep and what to discard. Some researchers believe dreams are part of this process. Imagine your brain as a gigantic library. During the day, books arrive faster than librarians can organize them. Stacks pile up everywhere. By nighttime, the librarians begin sorting. Important books are placed on shelves. Duplicate information is removed. Connections are made between related topics. Dreams may represent glimpses of that sorting process. This would explain why dreams often contain strange combinations of people, places, and events. Your brain might be linking memories together in unusual ways. A childhood friend appears in your workplace. Your school transforms into your current house. A conversation from yesterday mixes with a memory from 10 years ago. Dreams often feel random because memory organization itself isn't always neat and orderly. It's a complex process involving countless connections. But memory processing may be only part of the story. Another theory focuses on emotions. And this theory becomes especially interesting when we consider how emotionally intense dreams can feel. Have you ever experienced a dream that left you genuinely frightened? Or deeply happy? Or overwhelmingly sad? Sometimes dream emotions feel stronger than emotions in waking life. Why? One possibility is that dreams help the brain process emotional experiences. Throughout the day, we encounter situations that affect us emotionally. Stress at work, arguments, excitement, embarrassment, fear, love, loss. Not all of these feelings get fully processed immediately. Some remain unresolved. Some linger beneath the surface. Dreaming may provide a safe environment for the brain to work through those emotions. Think of it as emotional housekeeping. During sleep, your mind revisits certain emotional themes. Not necessarily by replaying events exactly as they happened, but by creating symbolic or altered scenarios. That's why someone experiencing anxiety might dream about being chased. Someone facing uncertainty might dream about getting lost. Someone grieving might dream about seeing a loved one again. The brain may be using dream scenarios to explore emotional states in a protected environment. Almost like a therapist conducting sessions while you're asleep. Researchers have found evidence suggesting that emotional centers of the brain become particularly active during REM sleep. This supports the idea that dreams play an important role in emotional regulation. But then comes perhaps the most fascinating theory of all, the simulation theory. According to this idea, dreams are not simply random stories. They are training exercises, simulations designed by the brain. Imagine a flight simulator used to train pilots. The pilot enters a virtual environment. Different situations are presented. Challenges appear. Mistakes can be made safely. Skills improve through practice. Some scientists believe dreams function in a similar way. Your brain creates virtual scenarios where you can practice responding to problems, threats, and social situations. The simulation feels real. The emotions feel real. But the danger is not real. You get the experience without the consequences. From an evolutionary perspective, this idea is remarkably powerful. Ancient humans faced countless dangers. Predators, hostile environments, conflict with other groups. Individuals whose brains rehearse dangerous situations during sleep may have gained a survival advantage. Dreams could have functioned as a kind of virtual reality training program long before computers ever existed. And if that's true, then every night your brain might be preparing you for challenges you haven't encountered yet. Which raises an incredible possibility. Maybe dreams are not meaningless at all. Maybe they are one of the most sophisticated tools the brain has ever developed. That if dreams really are simulations created by the brain, then another mystery immediately appears. Why are dreams so strange? Why don't they follow the normal rules of reality? Why can you suddenly find yourself standing in your childhood home one moment and floating through outer space the next? Why do animals talk? Why do buildings change shape? Why does everything seem completely normal while it's happening? The answer may lie in which parts of the brain are active during dreaming. Scientists have discovered something fascinating about REM sleep. While certain emotional and visual regions of the brain become highly active, parts of the brain responsible for logical reasoning become much less active. Think of it like making a movie. The imagination department is working overtime. The visual effects department is fully powered. The emotional soundtrack is turned all the way up. But the quality control department has gone home for the night. As a result, bizarre events don't trigger alarms. You don't stop and think, wait a minute. Why is my math teacher riding a giant penguin through a shopping mall on Mars? Instead, your dreaming mind simply accepts it. Everything feels normal. Everything feels real. This explains one of the strangest aspects of dreams. When you're dreaming, your brain isn't analyzing reality the same way it does while you're awake. The dream becomes its own reality, its own universe, its own set of rules, and because the emotional parts of the brain remain highly active, the experiences often feel incredibly powerful. You may know the fear isn't real after you wake up, but while you're inside the dream, it feels absolutely genuine. This becomes especially important when we talk about nightmares. Nightmares are among the most mysterious experiences humans have. Everyone has experienced one. The racing heartbeat, the overwhelming fear, the desperate need to escape. Then suddenly, you wake up, safe in your bed. Yet your body still reacts as if the danger was real. Your heart pounds. Your breathing is fast. Adrenaline floods your system. Why would the brain intentionally create terrifying experiences? At first glance, nightmares seem completely unnecessary. But some researchers believe nightmares may actually serve a purpose. Remember the simulation theory? If dreams function as training exercises, then nightmares may represent emergency drills. Imagine a fire drill. Nobody enjoys it. It interrupts the day. It creates stress. Yet its purpose is preparation. In a real emergency, the practice could save lives. Nightmares may work in a similar way. They allow the brain to rehearse threatening situations without exposing the body to actual danger. Throughout human history, survival often depended on recognizing threats quickly. Predators, enemies, natural disasters, dangerous environments. A brain capable of simulating dangerous situations may have provided an evolutionary advantage. Researchers sometimes refer to this idea as the threat simulation theory. According to this theory, nightmares help the brain practice responding to danger. Your brain creates a realistic scenario. You experience fear. You attempt to solve the problem. And in doing so, your mind gains valuable experience. Whether this theory is completely correct remains uncertain, but it provides an intriguing explanation for why threatening dreams are so common. Yet nightmares are not always about survival. Sometimes they reflect stress, anxiety, trauma, or emotional struggles. When life becomes difficult, dreams often become darker. This is one reason mental health and sleep are so closely connected. A troubled mind frequently produces troubled dreams, and a healthy sleep cycle often contributes to emotional well-being. But nightmares aren't the only unusual phenomenon that occurs during dreaming. There is something even stranger. Something that sounds almost impossible. Lucid dreaming. Imagine becoming aware that you're dreaming while the dream is still happening. Not after you wake up. Not when it's over. While you're still inside it. Suddenly you realize, this isn't real. This is a dream. For most people, dreams simply happen. Events unfold. The dreamer follows the story. But during a lucid dream, something extraordinary occurs. Conscious awareness enters the dream world. The dreamer recognizes the illusion, and sometimes gains the ability to influence it. People who experience lucid dreams often report astonishing abilities. Flying through the sky, creating objects, changing environments, speaking with dream characters, exploring impossible worlds. Some compare it to becoming the director of a movie that normally directs itself. Scientists once doubted whether lucid dreaming was real. Today, however, evidence strongly suggests that it is. Researchers have even conducted experiments in sleep laboratories where lucid dreamers communicated with scientists while remaining asleep. The findings revealed that awareness can exist within a dream. In a sense, lucid dreaming creates a bridge between consciousness and imagination. A place where the sleeping brain and the aware mind briefly meet. And if that isn't fascinating enough, there's another mystery waiting. Why do we forget so many dreams? Think about how often this happens. You wake up remembering every detail. The locations, the conversations, the emotions. Everything seems crystal clear. Then 5 minutes later, it's gone. The memory fades like smoke. Soon only fragments remain. And sometimes even those disappear. Why? The answer appears to involve how memories are formed. During REM sleep, the brain regions responsible for transferring experiences into long-term memory don't operate the same way they do while you're awake. As a result, dreams are often poorly stored. It's like writing a message in sand just before the tide arrives. The information exists briefly, but unless it's captured quickly, it disappears. This explains why dream journals can be surprisingly effective. People who immediately write down their dreams often remember more dreams over time. The act of recording them helps transfer the memory into a more permanent form. Without that process, the dream simply dissolves. And perhaps that's part of what makes dreams feel so mysterious. We spend years dreaming, thousands upon thousands of dreams, yet we remember only a tiny fraction of them. Entire worlds are created, entire stories unfold, then they vanish forever, lost somewhere within the hidden activity of the sleeping brain. For thousands of years, humans tried to explain these experiences in different ways. Ancient civilizations often believed dreams were messages from gods, warnings about the future, guidance from spirits, windows into supernatural realms. Dreams were taken seriously. Kings consulted dream interpreters. Priests searched for hidden meanings. Entire cultures developed systems for understanding dream symbols. And it's easy to understand why. Dreams can feel incredibly meaningful. They often contain powerful emotions, strange coincidences, unforgettable imagery. Even today, many people believe dreams carry hidden messages. Modern science, however, approaches the question differently. Rather than asking whether dreams predict the future, scientists focus on understanding the brain processes that create them. Most researchers believe dreams emerge from complex interactions between memory, emotion, learning, and neural activity. That explanation may not sound as mystical, but in many ways, it's even more astonishing, because it means the human brain is capable of generating entire realities from scratch, without screens, without computers, without external input. Every night, your mind becomes a world-building machine, a storyteller, a simulator, a creator of universes. And perhaps the greatest mystery of all is that we still don't fully understand how it does it. Hear things, feel emotions, experience events, yet none of it is physically happening. The dream world exists entirely within the activity of billions of neurons. That alone is astonishing, because it reveals something extraordinary about the human brain. Reality, as you experience it, is already a construction. Even while awake, your eyes don't directly show you the world. Your ears don't directly play reality into your mind. Instead, your brain receives signals and builds a model of reality. Everything you experience is a representation created by your brain. Dreaming may simply reveal this process more clearly. During waking life, the brain builds its model using information from the outside world. During dreams, it builds a model using information generated from within. In both cases, your experience is created by the brain. That realization has fascinated neuroscientists for decades. Some researchers even describe the brain as a prediction machine, a machine constantly trying to predict what will happen next. Every moment of your life, your brain is making predictions. When you catch a ball, when you walk through a doorway, when you speak to another person, your brain constantly simulates possibilities before they occur. Dreaming may be an extension of that same process, a period when the brain is free to explore possibilities without the limitations of physical reality. Imagine the world's most advanced supercomputer. Now imagine that computer running millions of simulations every night, testing ideas, exploring outcomes, creating stories, learning patterns, preparing for future situations. That may be surprisingly close to what your brain is doing while you sleep. And if that's true, dreams are not merely random entertainment. They are evidence of one of the most powerful information processing systems ever discovered, the human mind. Yet dreams continue to surprise researchers. For example, studies have shown that people deprived of REM sleep often experience problems with mood, learning, and memory. This suggests that dreaming serves an important biological function. If dreams were completely useless, evolution likely would have removed them long ago. Instead, Dreaming appears across much of the animal kingdom. Dogs dream. Cats dream. Birds dream. Scientists have observed REM-like sleep in numerous species. Have you ever watched a sleeping dog suddenly twitch its paws? Or quietly bark in its sleep? Many researchers believe the animal may be dreaming. If that's true, then dreaming may be far older than humanity itself. It may be an ancient biological process that evolved millions of years ago, long before cities existed, long before language developed, long before humans walked the earth. That possibility changes how we think about dreams. Dreaming may not be some strange side effect of modern intelligence. It may be one of the oldest functions of the brain, an ancient tool passed through countless generations of life. And yet, despite all our technology, we still struggle to understand it fully. We can send spacecraft beyond our solar system. We can sequence DNA. We can build artificial intelligence. But when it comes to dreams, there is still mystery. Every night, billions of people experience something science cannot completely explain. A hidden world emerges. A private universe appears, then vanishes before morning. Perhaps that mystery is part of what makes dreaming so fascinating. Not everything has been solved. Not every question has an answer. Some frontiers still remain unexplored. And dreams may be one of the greatest frontiers of all. Because dreams exist at the intersection of neuroscience, psychology, memory, emotion, imagination, and consciousness itself. To understand dreams completely, we may first need to understand the mind. And that challenge may take decades, or even centuries. So what should we take away from all of this? The next time you fall asleep, remember that your brain isn't shutting down. It's going to work. While your body rests, billions of neurons will communicate. Memories will be organized. Emotions may be processed. Connections will be strengthened. And somewhere inside that incredible activity, a dream may begin. Maybe you'll find yourself exploring a distant planet. Maybe you'll solve a problem. Maybe you'll face a fear. Or maybe you'll experience something so strange that it defies explanation. Whatever happens, one thing is certain. You will enter a world created by the most sophisticated object known to exist in the universe. The human brain. A machine capable of creating entire realities from nothing more than electrical signals. A machine so powerful that it can convince you a dream is real. Every single night. And perhaps the most amazing part is this. Nobody fully understands how it does it. Not yet. So tonight, when you close your eyes and drift into sleep, remember, you are not simply resting. You are stepping into a simulation. A world without limits. A world where reality bends. A world built entirely by your own mind. And somewhere inside that mysterious landscape lies one of the greatest unanswered questions in science. Why do we dream? Maybe one day we'll know. The mystery continues. If you enjoyed exploring one of the greatest mysteries of the human mind, don't forget to like video and subscribe.